Okay, and we're live. Welcome back, everyone, to Star Trek Adventures Nighthawk, Episode 5, where the crew is about to embark on some dangerous espionage type mission. But rather than have the GM explain it in prose and exposition, let's have the first officer read us a log, shall we?
First Officer's Log, Stardate 82553.7. The observation post lasted about 48 hours before the risk of discovery became too high. Our Togerlau emissary has departed, but I have started feeding my little sample. She is growing quickly and is very inquisitive. We are taking a more leisurely journey to Vax, the Vitress homeworld, charting the area as we go. We are just about to cross over the border into claim space, hoping to disguise our entry by skirting close to a quasar. End log.
Excellent. So, as it has been explained, you are entering through a quasarish area, which looks something akin to this. As soon as I get my right window open, I really need a fourth monitor, it seems. So it is a fairly large quasar, surrounded. It's basically a giant particle gun at the center of a supermassive black hole that has been sucking in the energy of nearby nebulas and minor star systems for quite some time. The gas is quite dense and prevents sensor readings for several light years in all directions. The downside is this also means that the Nighthawk is sort of flying blind, using a series of probes, exploratory shuttles, and whatnot to keep its sensors running more or less at a good pace. Due to the slowness of travel, we're just going to start off Alpha Shift, so everyone is currently doing whatever they want to do in the off hours. And what would... so let's start with Lieutenant Erkin. Where might you be on the off hours?
Not too far away from the quarters. Maybe just in the lounge, having a quick non-alcoholic drink,
Non-alcoholic drink. Okay.
praying and doing ritual stuff for the prophets,
All right.
seeking their guidance on all this wonderful thing.
Does anyone wish to join Erkin in the mess hall for a quick scene? Or shall we move along? Okay. Thishran, what do you wish to be up to?
I have heard that some cultures believe that singing increases the rate of growth in plant life. So I have decided to take a alternative hypothesis and practice interpretive dance in front of our Togalau companion to see whether different dances from different cultures possibly affects the growth rate. It is a very, very scientific experiment that combines my love of both science as well as culture.
Okay, science it is.
So far, I've gone through 5 different ones. No noticeable effect yet, but I'm certain I'll stumble upon one at some point.
All right, so Thishran.
You should really be doing that out in 10 forward.
Yeah.
I mean, once I get a couple of drinks in me, someone bring me some cold drinks, I'll move it along. I'll get people's opinions.
So we are in the science lab with Thishran doing a dance in front of a small Togalau colony, garden growth thing?
Mini garden, I think is what we...
Yes, that's what they prefer to call themselves, as a garden. So...
Think of it as at the very least, it's a cultural exchange of the Togalau. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they appreciate it.
From one culture to another.
Yeah.
Well, that was the agreement. And
Yeah.
mind you, it has not been named yet. So
Perhaps this will give some inspiration.
Okay.
I said it looks like Steve.
It looks like a Steve?
Yeah, it looks like a Steve.
Flora.
So what you basically are getting is the scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where Baby Groot is dancing. In response to your dances, it is uncertain if it's gotten your moves down patch, Lieutenant Commander Shrass, but it is attempting to at least move like you do.
Well, we'll get there.
Now, is Commander Bashir around to have fun with, or is he off doing something else?
No, I'm here with it. I'm standing back, fascinated with this dance recital.
I mean, you laugh now, and just wait until you see in the next couple of days when this Togalau is suddenly 5 times its size.
I've heard of a human custom called karaoke.
Interesting. You must tell me more about this.
Some sort of, much like your interpretive dance, it is a form of singing after large intakes of synthol.
Intriguing. This sounds like an event that 10-4 should possibly host.
Well, shall we?
Give me another little bit of time here to finish up this routine with our Togalau friends, and I'll come over shortly and suggest it.
Okay, so before this whole thing turns into a security nightmare, Lieutenant Commander Helsing, what do you wish to be doing off hours?
I'll be in my quarters doing emails
Okay.
or the Star Trek equivalent.
Data, gotcha.
Right now, sending out a communique to go to my sister.
All right. Anything in particular, or shall we just take that offline if it becomes plot worthy?
We can take it offline if it becomes plot worthy.
Fair enough. We can do that. So, if I recall, Lieutenant Erkin, it is approaching 8 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And you are finishing up your evening meditation and, what's the word I'm looking for? Imbibing of non-alcoholic alcohol or drinks. Mess hall.
Yes.
Non-alcoholic. So we will move here. When all of a sudden, there is a slight commotion at the door as everyone comes in with the mini Togalau in a pot. There you are.
All right.
On the way there, we've done some research on this carry, and we have gone to the replicator and fabricated some period appropriate equipment.
Oh no.
I put on my period appropriate hat.
I love the name that's on the token. I like Togi. I think
Togi's good.
Togi is it.
Okay. Okay, so miniature Togi is now the ship's mascot. We are running with this.
Commander, may I ask what you have there?
Well, after the interpretive dance, we thought we'd bring the sample to 10 forward and practice a human custom with synthol called karaoke.
This is the name. Isn't the name of science, mind you.
Yes.
We have heard that this could possibly affect the rate of growth of fungal species. So, obviously, we must test this hypothesis.
I mean, I could tell you the growth of fungal species based on what was in my ex-wife's closet. Hey, I'm in. What do we do?
Who's? I guess we'll go up to the proprietor.
Bartender who is
board, yeah.
yet to be given a face. One of these days we will, but now that Alpha Quadrant is out, probably a good idea.
I thought it was the Horta.
I mean, we can make the Horta the bartender if you guys want.
I think that's wonderful, but especially if you order anything.
Yeah.
But
something with a sense of taste might make for a better bartender.
Yes.
Right.
Anyways, the bartender looks up and goes and says, "Right, Commander, Lieutenant Commander.
We have a proposal for you.
Yes.
If this is
Commander, if you do the honors of explaining.
If this is a 3 senior officers and a plant walking into a bar joke, I'm officially going to kick you out.
On the contrary, we are here in the name of science. We have heard that music and dance will help grow plant life. So I have heard of a humanoid custom from Terra on karaoke, and feel that perhaps as this species would be interested in a cultural exchange. Can you provide us with karaoke?
You see the bartender's face contort ever so slightly. Oh, I had hoped this day would never come. But, considering that I am a Starfleet officer, and thus report to you, sir, if you think this is a good idea, then I shall prepare the equipment.
Excellent. Please do.
He heads to the back. He heads behind the bar into a storage closet, and comes out with a small optical disc player and a wireless microphone. Pushes several buttons. Hands the microphone to you. Asks for a song request. And just as you pick up the microphone, there is a massive detonation on the ship, and red alert is
thank
immediately
God.
sounded.
Oh,
Oh, unfortunate. I had Klingon opera all in my mind.
I had a mushroom song ready.
Maybe if you survive the coming storm, then you guys will.
I can serenade the crew upon a celebration upon surviving. Anyways, we should find out what's happening.
Yeah.
So there's a massive explosion. The ship lights go dead immediately afterwards, and emergency lighting kicks on. Red alert klaxons sound automatically, and the gamma shift command. The communication sounds over the ship's hardwired PA system, not your comm badge. Senior staff, please report to the bridge.
As we start running over, I start trying to calm Kasat to see if I can reach him and find out if they can see what's happening in engineering, if they know anything.
I grabbed Togi and started heading to the bridge.
Very well. Alec,
yes.
what are you up to?
Oh, yeah, running directly to the bridge.
Okay.
And ensure that Helsing is also on the way.
I'm Commander Helsing. There is a massive...
Already moving.
Already moving. That's what I thought. Okay. So, Thashran, are you heading to the bridge or heading to engineering for the condensation?
Heading to the bridge while I'm trying to calm engineering.
You attempt to access the ship's wireless communication system, only to find out that it has gone dead.
Well, that's inconvenient. I guess we'll continue heading to the bridge to see if we can update.
Okay, we will cut to the bridge, where everyone is magically in their positions, except for Helsing, or except for Thashran. But he will be there momentarily. There we go. All right, it's a scene of controlled pandemonium on the ship, on the bridge, as you all enter. The captain, for some reason, has not reported in. Lieutenant Knorr is quickly relaying casualty information coming in from sickbay. It appears that several individuals were at the impact site and have been wounded. The Gamma Shift command officer passes to Helsing and Bashir. Sir, it appears that a missile of some sort might have impacted us, Deck 6, or impacted the outer ring, Deck 6, Section 3. We didn't see it, sir. The sensors are just function like crap out here. Sorry, sir, language. I have a team heading down there to see what we can do.
All right, what's working, what's not working?
At this,
I mean, if you guys don't need me here, I should probably run over and check it out.
Also recommend going to red alert, sir.
Already are.
Do
Okay.
you guys need me here, or should I just run down to
Check engineering. Go ahead.
All right. No.
Okay. So, you show up. The Shran, you show up on the bridge. Get a quick damage report. The ship. Basically, the ship has taken an impact. I'm just going to go to this page here for a second. The ship suffered an impact roughly around here, where a large portion of the sensors have been completely blown up, as well as several adjacent hallways. Thankfully, because it is a science and sensor area, it is not inhabited by quarters or any of that stuff, so crew casualties are thankfully at a minimum. Lieutenant Knorr is currently dealing with them in sickbay. Down to while folks figure things out. So we'll go back to the bridge. So having that in hand, Shras, let's see, other updates from engineering. Main power appears to have been shorted out somehow. Not entirely sure how. This area has not contained any major power conduits that should have been hit by this force, but main power is offline nonetheless. The computer core on its isolated systems appear to be functional, but not all that useful. Because naturally you can't really access it or get its full functionality if the power is offline. Let's see. Internal and external sensors are currently dead. So we're going to treat this as several breaches in the means for repairs.
Okay.
So it's going to be 2 breaches to sensors, 1 breach to hull. 1 breach to structure, 2 breaches to sensors, 1 breach to comms, but thankfully everything else is apparently so far so good.
Too bad.
Not too bad. Are we still moving?
You are currently not, and that is Lieutenant Erkin's something you have noticed. Given the proximity to the supermassive black hole, you estimate you have about 10 hours of idleness until you are sucked into the point of no return of said black hole.
Oof.
So, no pressure.
Impulse power and everything is offline?
Currently offline until the power systems are brought back up.
And scan for any ships in the vicinity with whatever limited sensors we have.
Okay. You currently have a breach on the sensors, so that's going to increase the difficulty of said sensors. So this is going to be a sensors plus science with a difficulty of 3.
Okay.
Will the ship assist?
The ship can assist with sensors plus science.
Sorry, what plus science for me?
I'm sorry, I doubled. It would be insight plus science for Erkin. So the ship managed to succeed, thank goodness to its massive sensors. It's very comprehensive sensor suite.
20. Helm operations for a focus. Astronavigation.
I'll go astronavigation.
Ancient technology.
No, afraid none of those will really work.
Okay.
Is astronavigation right? Or model?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Oh,
managed,
yeah.
you managed to succeed. That's that's cool. You did it.
Nice.
So because you made the check, you do get from the high resolution sensors, you do get 1 momentum. And I should make the mention that I've been reading the talent wrong. It's not, you don't get the momentum specifically to ask questions, you just get the momentum flat. So you get it.
That's even better.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not detecting anything else within the 3 AU that your ship's sensors are currently operating at. You have 2 shuttles, both of your Type XX shuttles are out running scouting operations, and they didn't even see the missile as it flew in. It was just too small and lost in this chaotic morass of debris, floating nebula, and all that rot.
Two things real quick when you're talking about the explosion.
Sure.
The first, what type of explosion was it? Was it just kinetic energy and the force of it coming through doing the damage? Was it an actual explosive device?
Running through your logs, it appears to have been an impact, or it was an impact followed by an explosion. Something that you might akin to more of a mine strike than a photon torpedo or classic energy weapon.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're not moving right now.
Do we have internal sensors?
Currently offline until Mr. Thashran gets down to engineering and checks out what the heck is going on.
Yep.
And we will cut to that now.
And while you're cutting,
Yep.
I want to send Lieutenant Loxley Eberl to go check on the captain.
Okay.
Just make sure he's okay and see where he's at.
That is a fine idea. Commander, anything on your side before we cut away? Hello, Commander.
Hello?
There you are.
Okay. I just want reports as soon as possible from all
right.
departments.
Okay, let's see. Make mental note. Do a better job of cleaning up tokens once I'm done a scene. Okay, Thashran, you have wandered into, well, sprinted, I should say, into engineering. Lieutenant Cassat, even though he's not even looking, he somehow knows that you're in the room, as well as several other engineers are running around rampant.
Okay.
Bulkheads have been torn off, and already signs of rapid repairs being done to the ship's power systems are underway. You've seen your engineering team has already pulled out bulkhead, or those have pulled open bulkheads to begin figuring out where problems are.
Good work on that part.
Lieutenant Cassat turns around. Lieutenant Commander, based on what I've been able to determine, the missile exploded, and then caused a subsequent electromagnetic pulse, which traveled through the power systems, overloading them. I estimate we will not be able to restore power for at least another 3 hours.
Is it possible for me to jump in there and see if I can make it faster?
Absolutely. This would be an insight plus engineering just to see how badly things are going. Someone want to take Cassat. He can do an insight engineering as well. This would...
Yeah, so I have the talent, I know my ship, so whenever I attempt a task to determine source of technical problem with the ship, I add extra d20.
Excellent. So this will be a difficulty 2 test.
Okay.
Someone can roll for Cassat to assist.
I've got her.
And I do have a focus of power systems.
That's perfect. And because this is Cassat being activated, feel free to give him talent, boost one of his attributes or disciplines, etc.
Oh, damn, I got one.
Well, in this instance, I think an increase in insight would be probably
a good idea.
Might
Probably
be
a
a
good
decent
idea. Going once, going twice. It is now a 10. All right, insight and engineering. And it's sensors, right? Or power?
Power systems, even in Cassat's weapon systems would work well, or weapon technology, because, well, he's a weapons guy.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
1 extra momentum. No, sorry, Cassat only assists with 1 die.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay.
yeah, that's all right. So no momentum, I'm afraid, but you still succeed. Thashran, you do confirm Cassat's initial suspicions. It does appear that many of the EPS conduits have been overloaded throughout the entire ship, causing massive blackouts. Thankfully, redundant power does not appear to be affected just because they're on separate ships and running chemical backups, which are not as effective to such type of weapon. And you would be aware that, restoring power would be about 3 hours if one was following the rules. However, as your reputation is one of, how should we say, more improv design, you think you might be able to knock it down an hour or so. If, you ignore some of those things like safety regulations.
I mean, it's probably more dangerous to be a sitting duck here for any longer than absolutely necessary.
Agreed. Okay.
So I'm going to gently nudge them aside and say, "All right, let me handle this. Let me get in there."
Okay.
Actually, is there a way? So you said comms are down, right? So can I flag the bridge and tell them, give them a quick update as to what the hell's going on?
Yes. So the wireless comm system is down, which typically routes. You tap your comm badge and go with the surrounded bridge. That system is still dead. However, because of many attempts at jamming that specific communication in the past, ships like the Scryer class is literally built with redundant communication systems, although they are hard-lined. So, you're able to pass on the report.
Okay. So let them know that I'm currently working on restoring power, but that's probably another 2 hours.
Okay. Lieutenant Commander Liam Helsing, you receive a report that the captain was doing a late-night constitutional around that section of the space of the station, and is currently on his back in sickbay. He doesn't look too bad, but there's some weird neurochemical stuff going on in his brain that needs to be looked at. He's under sedation.
The strange blend of him with Trill and Betazoid keeps coming to bite him.
Yeah. Funny how that happens.
I passed it on to Commander Bashir and tell him that he is in charge.
All right. Captain Pro Tem Bashir, what are your orders, sir?
Well, we have engineering report. Good. We have 2 hours till we can move. Do we have anyone working on sensors?
No one named, but there's an engineering
Yeah,
department.
there's people working on it.
That is the bonus of having the Shran on the ship is being chief engineer gives you the advantage of that stuff. I think Rani might have something for sensors if you want to, put her on the task.
That'd be great if we could.
Okay. So Rani is going to head down to the sensor areas of the ship and see what she can do. Okay.
Lieutenant Commander Helsing, could you get a visual look on what's going on?
Do we have some type of external drone we can take pictures from the outside without having to go EVA?
Well, you currently do have 2 shuttlecraft that are nearby. And it looks like Lieutenant Knorr just showed up, just in time. Hello, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Commander Knorr? That's odd. Your thing is flashing, but I can't hear you. Okay, well, while Knorr figures that out, so we'll tie into the shuttle sensors.
As long as the shuttles don't have to move around, because if we're in a minefield.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't looking to send you outside. I was just more go down to the area, down in the ship, and take a visual and give me a report. That's all I was asking.
Okay.
Poke your head outside. Take a look.
You see a noticeable sigh of relief on him for not having to go EVA.
No. I don't want you going outside. No, I'm good with that. Just I wanted to get your opinion of what's going on down there and what the real damage.
Okay.
I'm away.
Okay. Are you going in personally, Helsing?
I'll go in person and call Lieutenant Loxley Eberl to take over the station.
Okay. Moxie will show up.
And I'll grab just one of the security ratings to go with me.
All right. So, heading down into the deck. Let's bring your token with us. Copy. We're going to a new background that I don't think we've been to before. Hallway. There it is. Okay. So, you arrive outside the nearest working turbolift. Due to automatic safeties, the turbolift nearest has deactivated. Probably because opening into a near void is not conducive to a safe environment. Let's see. And what you find is this. So you emerge onto a damaged section of corridor. Deck 3 would be, or Deck 6, Section 3, is where the main sensor array, at least one of its main junctions is. And it is pretty much a ruin at the moment. It's going to take days, if not weeks, to fully restore this part of the ship. However, anyone actually looking at the set would also notice that there is still the remnants of a missile casing inside, still lodged in the hull.
Testing.
Hello, there you are.
It's kind of intermittent for me, so if you don't hear me, I don't know what's up with this.
Okay. Weird. But, yeah, if we don't hear from you, we'll give you a nudge or go from there. So the ship's been hit by a missile of some sort. Your Kenora is currently in sickbay, dealing with the crewmen, including an unconscious captain.
Fine.
Quite. Anyways, so, Mr. Helsing, there is a missile that is, or at least a warhead casing that is still lodged in the hull.
Roger. Try to take as much readings that I can for the tricorder composition to make any markings
Okay.
that are still visible.
Insight security, please. This will be a difficulty of 2.
And what would be good for a focus?
Tactical systems, weapons, explosive
Shipboard
devices.
tactical.
Yeah, I'll let that happen. Okay, so I'll let that succeed at cost if you're willing to give me a point of threat.
I'm good for it.
Okay. So this is a very complicated missile system, which is, it doesn't look like, it doesn't appear to have been launched recently, anyways, from a shipboard system. Its exterior is oddly fairly smooth. It doesn't contain any of the like scrapes or gouging or rocket or burn back that one might see from a missile being launched from a ship that one would expect. The missile's material is duranium, which is extremely durable for a missile. Why one would encase a missile out of such a sturdy missile is a little bit confusing until you take a look at the remnants of the warhead. And you have to raise your eyebrow Vulcan-like at the complexity of it. It is a multi-stage warhead. So the first would have been a ramming tip of solid duranium. which was vaporized in the initial collision. There's enough residue to see the secondary and tertiary systems, which would have been the cluster mines or cluster bombs, followed by the spent energy or several spent power cells, most likely the EMP system. There is a final system that appears to be some sort of aerosol deployment system, which has also gone off at some point. I should also now ask you to roll me a fitness plus medicine test with a difficulty of 2.
Roger. And any type of focus on this.
If you have anything towards like physical conditioning, like physical fitness or sports or immune system or
The talent martial artist.
I'll let you have that.
Anybody have any problems with me taking the momentum?
Please. Please.
Oh wow, okay.
There we go.
You not only succeeded, but you now gain 2 more momentum out of that. Anyways, that's what you see out of the missile system.
All right, so for the aerosol, is there any remnants of that around? Getting readings of that so I can take that back to our scientists and medical.
There's enough residue inside the system itself to grab at least a good tricorder reading. You might not have like your shipboard tactical knowledge might tell you by now that you're dealing with a potentially biological threat vector here. So you might be a little hesitant to get close, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too close, just enough to get the reading. Is there a comm panel in this little area where I can call back on?
The impact area is just too damaged for any systems to work, but within a couple sections away is a functional comm panel.
All right. I'll walk up to that comm panel. I don't want to, because if it was a biological agent, I don't want to spread any further contamination.
Mm-hmm.
So, Commander Bashir, Lieutenant Commander Helsing.
Yes, Commander.
At the missile impact site, we have a biological agent as well. Need to establish at the impact site and up to where I am, contain this area. Nobody in or out unless they got hazmat suits. And I'm not in one, so I need a decon in my area as well.
Yeah. Make sure yourself is deconned and put a level 4 quarantine field in the area.
See, that's a bit of a problem, as you currently have no power for force fields. Or at least the power required to run the medical level quarantine fields.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to plug in my tricorder readings and send those to you. That way it has everything on the warhead and the biologic agent as well. If we can get people working on that to see what that payload's supposed to do. And I'll set up a physical presence. Roger, copying it down to him. And I'll wait here for a decon team and establish a physical containment.
I will call down to Lieutenant. I will. Yeah, I'm going to call down to Lieutenant Commander Kenor and report that there is a biological agent also on board, and I'd also like to keep an eye on that, please, and also to give me a report on casualties currently in the medbay, including the captains.
Okay. GM, I guess I would like to do 3 things if possible. One, I would like to, because me as a player is stupid when it comes to anything medical related, but
course.
I would like my character to know exactly what to do as, and I guess it would be an insight roll or a reason roll,
Mhm.
but like just to let them know from medical point of view, like what they need to be prepared for, what they need to do as far as like quarantine, any kind
Mhm.
of scanning sensitivity that they need to be aware of, and all that stuff.
Okay.
The second thing I want to do is, of course, let him know how the captain's doing. And the third thing is I just want to get a scan myself, like maybe with the internal scanners if they're running. I don't know if they are or not, but of the actual warhead and or of the actual biological agent if I can.
Okay. Let's address those points as they came up. So, step one, I'm going to assume that you know this without making a roll because chief medical officers probably should.
Yep.
Quarantine procedures without power is difficult but possible. First is just shutting off life support in that area to prevent airflow, and then to surround all ingress and egress points with heavy plastic or whatever the 24th century equivalent is. Um,
Transparent aluminum.
that might be a little bulky to carry around for emergencies, but I'm sure they have something. Yeah, so basically setting up an emergency decontamination slash airlock system in place through one egress point. The rest should be walled off in um, or yeah, sectioned off in with heavy plastics, etc.
Is the entire ship without power or just that second?
The entire ship is without power. So thankfully, life support is not operating at peak efficiency, so you're able to establish a quarantine of somewhat, even though it'll take longer than you would like. Um, Second,
So,
Captain is doing well enough. He's been knocked unconscious, but there is some odd neurochemical stuff going on inside. He was relatively close to the missile impact when it hit, so you're just keeping an eye on him, and he's currently happily unconscious.
And is there any complications from that interesting neurological stuff going on? Like, is it causing him um, to be in more danger, or is it just natural for because he's a hybrid?
It appears that he's having a restless REM sleep. Near as you can tell, his dual nature is sort of, I guess, fighting with itself, for lack of a better term. But it's not. It doesn't appear to be causing him any long-term damage. Naturally, I'm assuming you have him on the bio bed where he is currently being fully examined.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's actually put him there instead of just. Wrong button.
do the biobeds work?
I'm assuming under emergency power, sick bay probably has an emergency generator of some sort.
I kind of thought the same thing, but I was just kind of like, if we're really that bad a shape,
So you probably, yeah, just let the captain. You'll be okay.
In case anyone's caring, there are currently 5 other injured in sick bay. Fortunately, their wounds are not that severe. But other than that, things are looking okay. Now, the third thing you had asked for was you wanted more info of the missile slash nerve agent, for lack of a better term. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Aside from the scans that Helsing sent down, um, you're not able to glean much more from it. It was a general tricorder, not a medical one. It does
And there's nothing that my character would, just from those scans, recognize as either familiar or like overly strange. I mean, it's obviously strange that we're getting attacked by a biological agent, but like something that would maybe pinpoint a specific species or
This would be. Oh, there is one thing I forgot to mention to you, Helsing, which obviously would make it down, is that the markings on the missile do make it do say or are the same language of the Vitars. So it is a Vitars weapon.
God, I'll pass that on.
Roll me an insight medicine with a difficulty of 3, please.
how much momentum do we have?
We have 2, so you can take 1 for another dice if you'd like, or whatever else you'd like to do with it.
I would like to take one if no one object.
No objection here.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna glance at my focuses real quick.
So anything like biological weapons or viruses or communicative diseases, something like that?
No, the closest thing is exobiology, but like most of my stuff is pretty vague. It's not like super specific on, anything.
Yeah. Well, let's just have a look at your character, see if there's anything that might work. Yeah, afraid not. Those aren't going to work.
All right, no problem. Hopefully this third dice helps.
It does indeed. You get that momentum right back, so 4 successes.
Awesome.
Okay, so without getting closer and having a sample in your sickbay, there's obviously, for proper study, there's not much you can glean from it. It does appear to be it's not a targetable virus, for example, so it's not designed to target a specific species, if that makes any sense. It's more of a generic style, one germ affects as many as possible kind of thing. Yeah. It's quite virulent, so its rate of transmission is very high, higher than what would be seen in a naturally occurring weapon, naturally occurring phenomenon. This is obviously engineered to be as contagious as possible.
And is it contagious towards animal biology or plant biology?
It appears to be geared more towards humanoid or carbon-based life. So not really plant-based, but humanoid.
Basically just as many people and as many species as possible.
Precisely.
Cool. Okay, so I guess I should report. I'll say this is Kanor to Commander Bashir. And make sure when you quarantine, because there's no power, you make sure you set up one ingress point and use as much impenetrable material as possible. And then she'll just go on the list that most likely he probably already knows what to do, but she's, being a Vulcan medical officer, that's kind of, she's got to get her 2 cents in. So, and then she's going to report on the captain and say, the captain is doing well physically. However, I do believe that his dual nature, Trill and Betazoid, is having an emotional and neurological conflict, though I don't think it negatively affects his recovery in any way.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Can we get a Ensign Zin down to get my head of security out of the area? And possibly, can you get a sample so you might be able to have a retrovirus for anyone that does show?
Yes, sir. I will send him immediately.
Thank
you.
Dude,
are the transporters working?
I'm surprised.
I doubt it.
No one's asked, but no, they are. The system itself is functional. However, without the sensors working, it's pretty much like throwing a baseball at a target with a blindfold on. So.
Not good for transporting.
let's just say it's unreliable at best.
Were you going to rerun yourself through the pattern buffer to make sure you're...
Well, yeah, something like that. You can decon through the transporter, so.
Yeah. Okay, so Zin is heading to the missile site. Is that my understanding?
As far as I know, yeah, he's I guess gonna check on the commander, make sure he's doing good, and also get a sample so we can run more tests and stuff.
Okay. That's the holodeck, not the hallway. So, Ensign Ira Zin appears in full hazmat suit. Several sample containers clipped around his belt, tricorders, and the process of setting up a decontamination area as well as a quarantine without the force field systems is a lengthy period of time. So about a half hour or so, you are left sort of twiddling your thumbs and looking at this warhead with probably suspicion and hatred. Maybe. I don't want to tell your character how to feel. So.
Yeah. It's kind of that.
Okay. You have as you begin going through your decontamination shower, which thankfully is a censored area, so feel free to strip off your uniform, and Zin will have a fresh one ready for you upon your egress. Your tricorder is picking up some, despite only taking a few, well, as many as possible, your tricorder memory banks are filled with information. And at first glance, most of it is gobbledygook. It appears to have been, while it's been picking up, what you should have gotten from the missile, composition, makeup, all that fun stuff, something else has been beaming information into it. But you're not able to make heads or, well, let's roll, let's see, memory test would be, let's roll reason plus security, or reason plus medicine with a difficulty of 1.
Okay, reason security would be the best one.
Hey GM, has Federation made official first contact with the Vitars Imperium?
It would be said that the Vitars made first contact with the Federation, but they each is aware of each other, but there has been no emissary or diplomatic team sent to one another yet.
Gotcha, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any type of focus?
I don't think so, not in this case.
All right, I probably didn't have it.
Well, there's 2 more.
Wow.
Okay, there's 2 more momentum.
It's like he translated the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
It's being contaminated has put a whole new view on everything for me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So you're straining at your memory, and some things are getting a bit cloudy to remember. You're not sure why, but this memory floats to the surface, and the patterns that you're seeing in your tricorder look fairly similar to the readings that you're getting from the Eternity Research Group systems back on the planet of Ix. The system meant for transferring intelligence, literally.
Okay.
And about that time, your decontamination shower comes to a close, and Ira Zin hands you a fresh set, and once you're out, he'll step through and begin the unenviable task of gathering live biogenic warfare samples.
So I'll go to the comm panel and pass it up to Commander Bashir that getting really strange readings from the tricorder. I'll bring it on up now that I'm fit to travel, but it's reminiscent of things that we experienced at the memory place on Planet X or Planet 9, as some call it.
Interesting. How are you feeling, Lieutenant Commander?
Better now that I'm in a hazmat suit around this stuff.
Not dying anymore.
Yeah.
I knew it as soon as I went in. I knew I should have been in some type of suit.
I hope you didn't mind that purple goo gel.
Okay, so you were Mr. Helsing, if I could ask you to roll me 1d6, please. That'd be number 6. Okay.
Just look it up on the random mutations table.
This will be fun. Okay. So, Liam, you make your way up to the bridge. Or, sorry, are you heading up to the bridge? I should ask that first.
After I've gotten out of the hazmat suit and the decon, and I'll head back up,
Okay.
leaving any trace of contamination behind in the dirt zone.
Fair enough. You make your way up to the bridge, and you step foot on, and you relieve Ensign Loxley from her post, and take over tactical systems. However, things don't. You're not sure what you're looking at. It's like first.
Disco ball.
No, no. It's like you're back at Starfleet Academy. At the first time you ever looked at a tactical console. So you're like you understand the phasers, photon torpedoes, but what you should have learned your entire life has just gone in a snap. So mechanically, because you've been exposed for more than a half hour with that thing, you have lost your 6th focus, which was your shipboard tactical systems. So until you figure out what the heck's going on, you don't have that focus anymore.
Does anybody know what this button does?
Sir?
Don't push the big red button.
I tell Commander Bashir that there's something off. I'm not knowing what I should know right now about the tactical station. This isn't right.
I'll go back and inspect his console for him. Maybe there's a bug or main power has conked something out. Or
All right.
Phasers, photon shields, but what? It's not making sense.
Yeah.
Did something change?
Erkin, everything looks normal to you. While tactical system, you may have some experience on tactical systems, but this looks like a standard layout.
Yep.
Maybe coded slightly to Liam Helsing's preferences, but everything is normal.
So I call over Lieutenant Loxley.
Oops, sorry.
Did you change anything on the board while I was gone?
She shakes her head. No, sir, I would never dream of touching your layout.
God.
This is a standard Federation layout, tactical, minus a few things. All seems to be in order. I tap a couple of buttons that aren't going to fire anything, just to see if it's the panel's flying.
Roll reason security.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I mean, if we weren't swimming in momentum already, I'd do a 0 challenge test or 0 success test just for fun. But nah, everything.
I have 4 ranks in security. I know how to fire.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But do you know how to not fire lasers?
That's true.
That's
Ooh.
the question.
I open up the pre-production environment.
Nope. The security functions work as well as they should under the current stressful conditions.
Okay,
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
Commander.
Commander, I think you should report to SIG.
Yeah.
I agree. Lieutenant Loxley, take over the station. Don't touch the buttons.
Yes, sir. Not touching the buttons.
I
mean,
don't want
here's-
them changed from. Never
you
mind.
don't
You
know
got
what the buttons do.
take over.
Yeah.
Don't push my buttons.
Okay.
Do we have those hand sanitizer little things aboard the
I mean, they must exist, right? Or maybe the surfaces are now self-sanitizing? I don't know.
Ooh.
Of all the things Worf complained about, that was never one of them. So, but then again, he was a hairy Klingon, so. Okay. We are going to cut ourselves down to sickbay, or down to the engineering, where the first of several extended tasks are going to begin, in order to get this ship up and running again. So, let's figure out. Nope. Once again, that's holodeck. There's engineering.
Has anyone actually tried saying that, end program? Because that screen keeps popping up for some.
Foreshadowing?
The Matrix.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see the Matrix now.
right? Lieutenant Commander, feel free to use any momentum you deem worthy to get this thing working.
Okay, so this is going to be an extended task. We'll roll in between various other scenes just to show that this is going to take some time. So this is a magnitude 4. So I should start at the top. Work track of 15. Difficulty of 4 to start with. Resistance of 3. And there's a magnitude of 3. So this task is going to focus on bringing ship systems, primarily the power systems, up online, although this will also have the added effect of repairing those pesky little sensors, as well as all the other hiccupy things. So anything like
Okay.
so this either daring engineering or control engineering to
Right.
get things going. Lieutenant Cassat can assist if he wishes. And if someone...
Yeah, someone want to get to Cassat, and then I will.
I got her. Or him.
I'll do daring engineering, and I'll also spend a momentum
Sure.
to get the 3 dice, and I focus on power systems.
Now, I should so momentum can also be spent to increase, or I should say, well, let's make the test first, and then I can tell you what
Okay.
what momentum can do on the challenge dice. Ooh, 3 already. That's a good start.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Cassat.
Focus.
Oh,
Nothing.
Cassat's not got...
Oh, zip.
Nope, zip for Cassat, I'm afraid. So,
You rolled a 2. Yeah.
try as Cassat might. These systems are shot to heck. It's going to take a lot more work than you had anticipated to get things going.
Mhm.
Thankfully, this is not quite a timed challenge yet. So, yeah, you still have about 9 hours until you fall into the black hole. So, lots of time.
Plenty.
Plenty of time. Lieutenant Cassat, at this point, takes a few moments to remind you that had you followed proper safety procedures beforehand, that several of these repairs might have been easier.
Well, it's more important to get this fast, I think, at this point. All right, so roll challenge dice now.
Nope. You only roll challenge dice if you succeeded in the
Oh, okay, right.
test.
It's not
Yep.
right.
So,
this is doing.
That's
Okay.
fine. We are going to cut to sickbay now. Doctor. Let's go to sickbay. Okay. In walks. So the first person back is Ensign Zin, who has given you a couple samples of the aerosol gel, well, spray, whatever aerosol is before it's fired at several psi, liquid, I guess.
Okay.
And as you just begin to examine it, in walks Lieutenant Commander Liam Helsing.
I tell you, colors have sound.
She stands up and walks out of her office towards Helsing.
He's developed synesthesia.
How may I help you, Lieutenant Commander Helsing?
Apparently, the tactical station screen changed from what I remembered it to be, and it's not quite where it should have been. Up on the bridge, they seem to think it might have something to do with my exposure to a certain biologic agent.
I see. Well, it's easy enough to figure that out. And she pulls out a medical tricorder and scan. And of course, gestures for him to go to a bed. Just because that's something you do.
That's probably about right. Okay, insight plus medical, please, and either Ensign Zin or Zot can assist. So,
Whoever has the best score.
yes. So,
Difficulty?
oh, sorry. This will be a difficulty of 2. And in this case, I will allow something like emergency medicine or anything biological. Viruses would work. So, stuff like that.
Besides Helsing, because I know Helsing is going to agree. Does anyone think I should take momentum?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of figured Helsing would agree.
I should also mention that because you're in sickbay, if I recall correctly, do you get a free dice just because you are in sickbay?
I don't know. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, that's one of those things I probably should remember.
Oh no, I don't remember. The only one I remember is the science officer because it's the easy one to remember.
Yeah, that is that indeed.
Okay, so it has the advantage of medical department, which represents the ship's medical personnel. So I guess it's just people.
Okay, that's fair. So, because of the advantage, I will grant you focus. So, you will have focus for this test.
Okay, rolling.
Well, there's 3. So, if someone wants to assist,
I can roll for Zen or somebody.
sure.
Sure.
When I find. You said insight or reason?
Insight medicine, please.
Does Zen have a focus?
Well, this is an activation, so you can give him one if you'd like. But no.
Taking care of Lieutenant Commander Helsing is a focus.
That's a bit specific.
Well, he's already done it, so it fits.
Yeah.
That's a bit creepy.
Patient care. Well, he has biology, which might work well enough.
All right. With a biological agent, I hope so.
Okay, you're
Wow.
now maxed out on momentum.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going on here is that there is obviously some degradation going on in Lieutenant Commander Liam Helsing's brain. And now that you're
Your
able to
brain is degrading.
there appears to be the virus has formed some sort of neurological blocking agent that is slowly penetrating and working throughout the commander's brain. It appears to be targeting areas focusing on memory And I should note now that you have a second case subject, and now knowing what to look for now, you're seeing something similar in the captain's brain as well. His is just a bit more advanced because it's now been longer.
Ah.
And it's not long before two other no-name crewmen wander in complaining about the same sort of forgetfulness. Ironically, these were two crewmen that were injured in the explosion, healed, and then discharged. And now they're back because one literally cannot remember where her quarters are, and someone has forgotten their entire childhood.
I'm glad you wrote those emails to your sister.
Boy.
My sister. Yes.
Yes, I remember her.
Okay, let's not go that way. So,
All right. I guess I want to say it in the most Vulcan way. She's gonna say, Lieutenant Commander Helsing, it appears, according to my scans, that your neurological pathways are degrading, and you are beginning to forget even the basic things. And before long, you might not even remember your alphabet.
Will it make me forget my love of interpretive dance?
We could only hope.
I will reawaken
Thank
your love
God.
of interpretive dance at any point.
So after that, I want to make sure that everyone that has come into the sick bay is quarantined behind like something. I don't know if we can quarantine in the sick bay without force fields, but I feel like that needs to be done.
yep, there's enough heavy plastic sheeting to go around.
Okay, and then I'll say Kanor to Commander Bashir. Also,
Yes.
before I talk to him, GM, do I know how if it's spread like purely like okay, so it's an aerosol, so obviously through the air, but can it be spread from person to person? Do I know that? Does my
If you give me one momentum, I'll answer that question.
I'm good with that. We got
Totally.
full movement.
Okay. It does appear the primary method of transmission is through the air. However, once it has entered a patient's neural system, it does appear that touch is a method of transmission. So
Okay, great. So what was that?
yeah. So once it enters the body, it goes through a mutation which allows it to then further spread itself.
Of course it does. Okay, so she's gonna say, Kanor to Commander Bashir. It appears that we do in fact have several infected individuals on this ship. I recommend quarantining the entire ship and limiting travel between different places unless absolutely necessary, and absolutely do not touch anybody.
Have you have any chance of possibly getting a retrovirus made?
I'm about to start working on that next.
And that is going to be a similar extended task to what was above. So, work track. Let's see. Work track 15, difficulty of 4, resistance 3, mag 3. Because you're in sick bay, you have an advantage. And I will let you name whatever that advantage is, and I will apply benefits as necessary. And in retrospect, I should have done that with Theshran too, but we'll do that next time.
So can you define like advantage? Because a D&D advantage means something different than here. Right?
Within the advantage is a narration tool, which can be used basically however you'd like. Usually it represents a person with the right knowledge assisting at the right time, or it could represent the fact that you have access to the combined library or the entire medicinal library of all of Starfleet's most famous doctors at your fingertips to use as a resource. So what mechanically, what it could do would be, say, to decrease the difficulty of the task just once, or lower the resistance, stuff like that. You just tell me how you'd like to be awesome, and utilize the tools at your fingertips, and then I will tell you mechanically how it works out.
Yeah, that brings up another question. So I don't do extended tasks for this reason, but what is exactly resistance and magnitude?
So resistance is, once the task is complete, once you beat the task, so you manage to beat the challenge, so difficulty 4 task is beaten. I then ask
So
you
it would be basically the task, the whatchamacallit roll, the regular, the 6-sided dice.
correct.
Okay.
And then, so once then you roll challenge dice equal to 2 plus your medical stat, which I suspect is 5. And then the work track, then it will subtract. And then once resistance comes into play, so resistance lessens the number of challenge dice. Or resistance, so if I roll, say, 7 challenge dice for you, that would be a total of 7 that would go against the work track. However, resistance of 3, so you would bring the work track down to 11 instead of
Gotcha.
that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll probably forget it though.
That's all right. I find it. Yeah, I explain this every time because, quite frankly, it's as much for my benefit as yours.
Right. And what about magnitude?
Magnitude. So once you beat the work track once, the magnitude will decrease by 1. So
it's like a lap. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do the work track like 3 times.
Yeah. So you have to beat it 3 times or complete the work track. Either way.
Okay. Well, I guess so. I don't know if this is a mechanical benefit or advantage, but the main thing me and Kenor are concerned about, not so much the actual virus, is its spreading. Can we somehow make it so it doesn't leave the 4 people that it's currently in?
The fact that they're now inside quarantine will help. I'm assuming by now you guys are all in hazmat suits, so the medical staff are not in danger of getting infected.
Great.
Sadly, the rest by now, as you've declared a medical emergency on ship, all officers on duty will either return to their quarters and follow quarantine procedures, or if they're forced to stay on duty, they will don hazmat suits and report to their supervisor every hour or so.
And they could also just, not high-five their coworkers. That would probably help.
I mean, that's probably a thing that could be of some assistance.
Well, okay. Is that the advantage then, or no?
So
if it is, that's fine. But if it's not, then I would say remove the resistance. I think removing 1 resistance would be the best mechanical thing.
Okay. So we'll do. Let's see. So what I'll do, to see how well the ship works in quarantine, I will have you roll a command plus medical test with a difficulty of 2. The captain or the commander can assist with a command plus medical task.
Do you mean
I'm sorry, presence. Yes, sorry, presence plus medical.
Awesome.
As well as the commander assisting that test.
And I do have diplomacy. Can I use that as a focus?
Absolutely.
Wow, I expected it to be better than that.
That's 1. So, Commander Bashir, can you take after your namesake and boss people around medically?
Okay, you said it was command and
presence plus medicine, and if you have like diplomacy or command or something like that, that would work as a focus.
Would he not be able to use command instead of medicine?
I guess I could allow that. Yeah, that would work fine.
I don't know if it's more or less. If that's,
It's one of those gray areas.
I'm going to go ahead and use medicine.
Okay. Well, there's the success. Okay. So congratulations, Kenor. Aside from those that you had treated before, that you discharged and came back, only another four no names enter with the same condition. But other than that, the quarantine appears to have taken effect rather well.
So totally there was 8.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I guess now I can actually roll.
Yes, you can. So now this
I forgot everything.
Just roll me a control or actually roll me either insight or reason and medical. This will be a difficulty 4, so someone can assist. However, if you want to use your advantage, that could either I'll allow it to decrease the difficulty by 1, or allow you to knock off 2 points of resistance.
Oh, resistance.
Okay.
Because can I use momentum to get another dice?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, because I'm hoping I get 4 like I did last time.
All right.
All right, I've got Zin.
Oh, are you fucking serious?
Oh.
I killed everyone.
Oh boy.
What?
Okay.
How was that even? What?
Oh boy.
Oh, we're dead.
Okay.
What? No, there's gotta be. I gotta role play this out.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a reason for this. Like, okay, so she was creating the retrovirus, or trying to create the retrovirus, right?
Mhm.
And you can decide if you want to whatever you want to do with the complication. Of course, you can decide whatever the complication is. But I think a good complication is like she's doing like experiments, quote unquote, on Helsing, and somehow makes his memory like even worse.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
she doesn't want to admit it.
Okay. Mr. Helsing, please roll
I
me
forget
1d.
about it.
Please roll me 1d5.
D5.
Yeah. And that would be number 3. So which one is your third? That would be small arms phasers. Okay. You have lost your ability to wield this phaser that appears to be strapped to your belt. Like, you know that it's a phaser, but despite the fact it has a trigger and 3 buttons, you don't really remember how to use them right.
Okay.
Okay, so this is going off like well. And
she's I don't know what she would do as far as like what she would say, but I feel like after she realizes, like, she's probably realized that something went wrong, but she doesn't know that he doesn't know how to use his phaser, and so she'll just kind of nod and say interesting, and then walk over to the captain and start doing stuff with him too.
Yeah.
okay.
Let's
Just
try
forget
it
about
again.
it.
Alrighty then.
Okay, this is fun. So, let's quickly cut back to the bridge, where Lieutenant Erkin.
Is this virus transmitted not just by touch, but by touching something an infected person touched, like the tactical station?
Well, that's a very good question, isn't it?
Yep.
Because Erkin and Loxley are both there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I should probably ask for Erkin to roll me a fitness plus medicine, please. Difficulty 2.
I was waiting for that.
And at this point, momentum might be a good idea.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, I had to be honest, was thinking about it.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna bring it up too. So, all right.
Also, whenever it's my character's turn, she has an idea, but hopefully I don't forget.
All right.
I'd like to use my focus of animal handling.
Yes.
That's not true. All right, here we go. Come on. Well,
Well, okay.
who am I? What
Roll
am I
me
doing?
1d6, please.
He forgets interpretive dance.
No!
Oh no!
Oh. Don't worry, I'll reawaken it in you.
Okay.
Oh, that's helm operations.
Oh. Okay.
Of course.
Yep.
Commander, I think my panel's gone. I don't know what any of these buttons are.
The only way it's get worse is if I got infected and I lost my focus of how power systems work.
Well, thankfully you were
Oh,
nowhere near
God.
any of these people when they got infected, so...
And now I'm in a hazmat suit, so anything I touch, I should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send him down to sickbay and have an ensign take over for Khan, and hopefully wearing containments.
Yeah, at this point, anyone who needs to be out and around is doing so, but... Commander, request permission to join Alak in sickbay. Must admit, I don't really remember I don't remember what happened on my last birthday, or, for that matter, where I was before being on this ship, sir.
Permission granted.
Oh,
Bashir's all alone.
No, I'd like to point out the fact, remember, I grabbed Troggy.
yes,
And
yes.
it's me and him sitting alone on the bridge.
It's very quiet on the bridge, I must say.
Practice your karaoke.
So, at this stage, let's have Mr. Science Man, because everyone else is a bit busy. Let's have Mr. Science Man look at that tricorder that was passed along. So if you have anything in, say, electronics or even xenobiology would be enough, or electronics, cybernetics, anything like that. This will be a difficulty of, you guys are you guys are boned enough as is, so this will only be a difficulty 1.
For some reason, that doesn't make me feel better.
No. Come on, 0.
Commander? Insight science, difficulty of 1.
Who are you asking? There's like 5.
Sorry, Commander Bashir.
Okay.
Is
And I don't know everyone's role yet.
Sorry, yeah, far
Everyone
too
else
many
is.
commanders. Is Bashir around? Have we lost him?
Maybe he's AFK.
Uh-oh. The virus is hitting in real life. He's forgotten
He
to play.
forgot.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
There he
thank
is.
goodness. Okay. Yep, so that is... You get 1 momentum from that. I don't even need to spend threat. This is amazing. Anyways, so what you're picking up here, Bashir, it's very similar to what limited intelligence you got from the planet of Ix on the Eternal Research Project. It doesn't look like it's a full copy or anything like that, but you seem to have at least a partial intelligence module uploaded to your tricorder.
So basically, if I'm understanding this correctly, like how they would beam into new bodies, like basically the tricorder picked up part of one of them.
Precisely.
Well, crap.
Uh-oh. Is that my tricorder he's holding?
Or at least
The
the
one
data.
that I touched?
At least the data from it. At this point, I'm just to give you guys a break. I'm going to assume that he started poking at it after he got his hazmat suit.
Well, you sent the information to me and to the Bionars.
That's true. That's true. I did.
Yeah, I haven't touched anything yet.
Yeah.
But personally, I definitely want to see. This is up for the Bionars. I want to see if can they extract this or make contact with this now entity in his tricorder without touching it.
The Binars are quick to mirror or to agree with you that yes, indeed, this is a partial intelligence. However, it doesn't look like the full thing. They request permission to suit up and do a more thorough investigation of the missile chassis.
I give them full permission as long as they are careful.
Very well. Okay. So before we do the next set of challenge rolls, let's take a 10-minute break or so. We're at 7:30, so about halfway through. So let's put this on pause, folks, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, welcome back, folks. We are going to cut back to the engineering, where our good buddy Thishran is going to once again attempt to enlighten everyone with another one of those either daring or control tests. And
And did you say something about a bonus for being in the engineering room?
It's actually I reread it over the break, and apparently it's just on the ship. So it includes the no-name personnel that are all around that you're yelling at. They provide a narrative advantage. So
Okay.
you can use them to say lower.
It's like a lower difficulty of
Yeah.
the.
Lower the difficulty or lower resistance or stuff like that.
Okay, it's like a lower difficulty from 4 to 3, and then
Precisely.
that's probably more doable.
Okay.
So I will. Oh yeah, I'll definitely spend a momentum. Actually, I wonder if I should spend. It would cost me 3 to get 2 dice, right?
Correct.
How do you guys feel about that?
I don't have any
Go
problem
for
with
it.
it.
All right.
I told you,
And-
use whatever you feel like.
All right. I'm gonna spend 3 momentum to get 4 dice, and I have a focus, and then someone else can do Cassat. So daring plus engineering.
Yep. Or insight
Dice.
engineering, either or.
There we go.
There's the 4 successes. Can Cassat
Wow.
get you some momentum?
Also, remember I said the advantage was the lower difficulty,
Oh
right?
yeah,
The
so
3.
you already get 1 momentum. Good.
Momentum.
Let's see if Cassat gets any more.
And nobody else has them. I have them up.
Okay.
What was his?
Insight, or sorry, nope. Control or daring plus engineering.
Control engineering. And focus.
Power systems, warp engines.
Propulsion.
That'll work. Okay, so
Yeah,
2
get
momentum.
2 momentum back.
Okay, so if I can ask you, Thishran, to roll 2 plus your engineering score. So
Right,
7
so
challenge
7.
dice. So that is 5. Now, you could spend a point of momentum to lower the resistance by 2.
Can we
I think I
also
might as
spend
well.
Can we spend a momentum to reroll the zeros?
You can do that too. So you can spend 2 momentum if you'd like. One to reroll the zeros and 1 to lower the difficulty. Or the
okay.
resistance, I should say.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay, so roll 3 challenge dice. Okay, so that is 7 with a resistance of 1, so you get 6 off the work track. So this is now a work track of 9.
Yep.
And because you beat it, it is now naturally a difficulty of 3, magnitude of 2, but resistance is not affected.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a so internal systems, for the most part, are back online. Force fields once again spring into life. Internal sensors are still down, but that'll be the next system you're working on. Transporters never were offline, but are now far more reliable. And the internal communication system is back up and running as it should be. Sadly, engines and that control is still offline, but you're making progress.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, you are indeed. Speaking of tests, Kenor, it's time for you in sickbay to try again.
No pressure this time.
Yeah,
Let's see if anyone else forgets some more stuff.
indeed. So let's cut to sickbay. Center that for stream. And then, okay, so insight or, control or daring medicine, please, Kenor. Difficulty of,
Okay. You said reason?
yeah, reason. Let's see. So we'll do that. copy everything. I don't. Or sort of did. Okay, weird. And so Zot or Ira could assist. How would you like to use the advantage of sickbay?
I'm gonna have to get it reduced difficulty because
Okay.
I don't. We only have 2 momentum, and I don't want to take any more.
Okay, so difficulty
I have
3. Zot or Ira could assist if they wish.
I've got Ira open.
Or actually, now that the internal systems are back online, the ship could assist if they
Yeah.
wish. Ship could assist with computers plus medicine.
Are ships and NPCs allowed to assist, or just one?
I think in this instance I'll allow assists from both. So one assist from a personnel, one assist from the ship.
And
Now I get 3.
You already got what you need,
oh,
so
nice.
good.
Wow. Here comes.
And what would the ship be?
Ship is computers plus medicine. There's 2 more momentum.
Wow.
And
Oh my
you're
God.
back to max.
There we go.
That's lots of momentum.
So with the thrum of power returning to the ship's systems, you find, Lieutenant Knorr, you find your access to the library far easier than it was in the past, and you're able to pull up all sorts of biological stuff. A lot of it from Voyager's doctor. But
Great. Okay, so now I gotta roll the challenge dice,
Yep.
correct?
Challenge dice, so that would be 7 challenge dice, please. And again, now that you have a lot of momentum, you can lower the resistance or re-roll zeros.
What's the resistance at? 3?
Currently 3. You don't have to tell me until after you roll.
Oh, really? That's convenient. Good.
Okay, that's one way to do it. We do have the macro for challenge dice. It's under the macros tab.
Oh, I never set that up, I don't think. Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, macros, there should be a challenge dice. You could click in bar. Let's see, so 6 is 2, 4 and 3 are 1 plus if. Let's see, 6 is 2, 4 and 5 are 1 plus effect, so 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0. So you currently have 7, a score of 7. So resistance of, you have 2 zeros that you could re-roll, or you could just, with a point of momentum, you could re-roll you could re-roll 2 challenge dice, or drop the resistance by 2.
So if
I
we
think
drop
I
it,
wanna...
go ahead.
I was gonna say drop the resistance, because then that'll give me a definite 5, but if you got a better idea, go ahead.
That's what I was going to recommend.
Okay.
All right, spending 1 momentum.
Okay, so this now has a work track of 10, difficulty of 3 now, and a magnitude of 2. Okay, so you have made some breakthroughs. What you have discovered is that this is not a, despite this being a very generalized and very potent bioweapon, it's not working at its full efficiency, which is quite, well, if you weren't a Vulcan, you would find that quite scary. It is apparently supposed to work best against a cybernetic neural, or a neural cybernetic interface.
Like the Borg.
Correct. And about the time you discover that, Commander on the bridge is going to receive a request from the Binars to join them in the science lab.
Absolutely, I'll head there.
Okay. Now, this
I'm going to go ahead and grab Troggy and take him safely to the science lab.
Okay. That was going to be the question I was going to ask. Is are you taking Togi? I don't know why I have to copy you. You're both already in the science lab. So, data lab. Okay, you are not here. Binars are here. Okay. The binars produce, as you are in the science lab, already hooked up to the center console, or the data analysis console, is a small device, not much larger than an iPhone. It's obviously not Federation in origin, and there is writing on the side that obviously matches that of the Eternity Research Group of the Vitars. 1-0 and 1-1 are almost tripping over each other, trying to explain how pleased they are to have found a working memory module, like a literal memory module, and they believe that this is a fully sentient individual. They found it hooked up into the guidance systems, or the sensors and guidance suites of the rocket.
So they basically downloaded an individual into the weapon itself.
That seems to be the case.
So is there any way that they can communicate with it?
We are attempting to hook it up to internal communication systems.
Well, let's give it a shot.
Okay, this is going to be since both Helsing and Erkin are currently in sickbay, perhaps one of you could take over the binars for this test, and they activate them as necessary. So,
Okay.
this is going to be a control plus science, or control engineering, either or. And if you have something along the lines of computers or intelligence equipment, something like that, Bashir, you can assist if you'd like. This is going to be a difficulty of 2.
Control engineering. Could use the computer science focus.
Okay.
How about xenobiology?
That's a stretch, but at this point, I'll give it to you.
Are binars making the test, or the
Binars are making the test, and Bashir is assisting.
I'd like to use a momentum,
All right.
as we've got lots.
Okay, there's the 2 successes. Will Bashir get you a momentum? Okay.
Or not.
Oh well.
Okay. It succeeds. However, as the test succeeds, there is a short to the system, and the binar. So yeah, if you disconnect this piece of equipment again, you will kill this individual. That's the complication. So, yeah, good luck with that. Anyways, as it is currently running on a sandboxed piece of equipment because you guys are smart enough not to plug any strange alien devices into the shipboard systems general. Mechanical or a robotic voice pops over the device's communications system. Query. My mission was successful. Why have I not been successfully downloaded to a new body yet?
What was your mission?
Mission was successful, sir. Detected incoming alien vessel. Did not match known Borg profile. However, standing orders to engage anyways. Equipment went off as designed. We punctured their outer hull. We caused a flash explosion for confusion, shorted out their internal sensors, and then released the neurogenic payload. Sir.
You want the good news or the bad news? Your mission was successful, but unfortunately the Borg are no longer. We are from a federation far away from here. You didn't explode.
With your begging your pardon, sir, but I've watched the missile. My internal sensors read the explosion as accurate. The ship profile was not Borg, but that was I do not see how that could have been a problem. I have admittedly been in hibernation for some time. I awoke when my sensors detected movement. I did not have much time to react, so I took the initiative. It was a non-Vitaris vessel, so I engaged.
We are currently on the way to Vax on a peace mission to meet with your people. If we disconnect you, I'm afraid you may be lost. We are more than willing to take you with us, and possibly your people can download you into a new body. Will that help you finish your mission?
My mission was completed. However, if I am the voice pauses. This is unusual. I have transferred into several bodies before, and this is the first time experiencing this detachment. Is everything okay with my consciousness? Why can't I see you or interact beyond this voice?
You are in a tricorder? A scanning device has picked up your personality.
I should make a quick retro action. The Binar salvaged the actual unit, so it's not the tricorder now. So it's the proper memory unit that the Vitaris would insert into someone's brain. That is now inserted into the ship. So the tricorder was not enough storage space for a personality.
Okay.
I apologize.
That's okay. That's all right. If I overlook something, that's my bad. If the Binars wish, they could attempt a control plus engineering test to see what they could do to give this individual more functionality or more senses.
I'm going to float the idea to the commander, but we're not going to take any action unless he says so. Commander, we could give them eyes and ears. Perhaps taste.
Is it possible to transfer this consciousness into the holodeck in a secured, to give him a physical body?
Well, technically possible. Could have unknown risks. Will be long process.
See what you can do to give him some form that he's used to, and possibly if you need to use a secure version of the holodeck, you're given permission, or if you can do it from here without officially connecting him to our subsystems or anything that can branch out, but make him more comfortable.
Aye.
Okay. So, let us cut back to engineering for another series of rolls.
All right.
Uh,
Okay, so I will again use the advantage to reduce the difficulty.
okay. So,
to
let's remember what the test was, which is here. Wrong button. Right button. Okay, so this will be a daring or control engineering.
Yep.
Cassat can assist.
So I'll spend 1 momentum, get 3 dice. Daring plus engineering.
There's your
Okay.
3.
And someone want to do Cassat?
Helson, maybe you
I got him up.
All right.
Yeah, what would his role be?
Probably control engineering or daring engineering.
Control engineering it is.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's a complication. You could always put 2 momentum to... we'll deal with the complication shortly.
Yeah.
So, Thashran, if you could please roll me... Now, we've already passed the test once, so you now roll 3 plus your engineering. Is it 3 or 2? Yeah, 3 plus your engineering score.
Okay.
So that's 8 minus the 3, so that's 5. So you could re-roll zeros or lower resistance if you'd like, but...
I'm just trying to think. So actually, we should have 3 momentum. We had 4 before. I spent 1. So 3. It costs 2 to get rid of the complication, right?
Yes, it does.
And how many would it take to reroll?
Reroll would be 1. So hypothetically, if you spend 2 momentum, you could lower the resistance and then re-roll the zeros and possibly get enough to beat this.
Right, and then just live with the complication.
Yeah. What would the
All right.
do?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So I'll roll 3 challenge dice.
So that is a grand total of 12. Yeah. So describe how you would like to finish this off in a grand flurry of engineering prowess.
So I stick my hand in and start messing around with the electronic tools I got, and suddenly all the lights snap back on into place. Disco balls kind of drop down, lights start flaring all over for a quick second to let everybody know that it's back up, and they shoot back up into the tiny little vents up in the ceilings that no one knew were there, and all the disco balls like suddenly disappear. But everyone is now well aware that power is back fully on.
Power is back on all over the ship. Okay, so that effectively repairs the breaches to the sensors and the... Oh, that's the wrong ship. Let's see. So that repairs communications and the sensors are back to normal. The structure damage is going to take a lot more time to fix because, explosion. But for the most part, the ship is currently in normal operational thing. On the bridge, which is currently only staffed by an NPC... So I need the NPC to please roll me a daring plus con with a difficulty of... So who is it? It's Jefferson Davis.
Is this for the complication?
Yes, this is for the complication.
Oh boy.
Jefferson Davis, please roll a daring plus con, and the ship can assist with structure plus con with a difficulty of 2.
I got the ship.
I got Jefferson. Well, he doesn't have a relative focus, so...
Well, this is an activation, so you can give him a focus.
Oh, I'm giving him helm operations as a focus.
That sounds like a good thing to have.
And the ship gets your complication.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Random number god, why?
I just fixed this ship.
Did you?
Why are you guys screwed up?
Alright, daring plus con.
The disco balls, one of them got stuck.
Oh no,
The worst.
that the karaoke machine went out.
Okay, so that's at least the one momentum. So you get one momentum from that, which
Yay.
gives you two. You might want to, cancel out
Use it.
that, but that's up to you.
I mean, it seems like a good idea, but
We
Maybe
probably
twice.
should. If
Going twice.
helm goes, yeah, we should
all
do
right,
it.
fine, we'll do it.
Okay.
If something goes wrong with the helm now when he's the only guy there, it could be pretty bad.
Toggy's there.
No,
Oh,
both
No,
Togs.
he's
No,
not
Toby went.
really.
Oh, Toggy
Yeah.
left, right?
Yeah.
I put
Toby
him
left.
back in his little cage, or however we're keeping him in the sun.
Potted plant. The entire ship shudders hard to port as an evasive maneuver shudders everyone, or catches literally everyone off guard. The second power is returned to engines. Those of you with the senior staff communication frequency receive a sincere apology for the sudden maneuver. However, had power been restored a minute later, the ship would have been struck by several debris pieces falling towards the black hole. That would have sent the ship careening even closer to the black hole. So,
You say you're welcome.
okay.
I am
Thank you.
heading back to the bridge, and I am ordering beta team or beta shift. Since we were all in the alpha shift before, I'm gonna order beta shift to the bridge.
Okay. I don't actually have enough people to make a beta shift. I should probably do that at some point, or at least a couple. But anyways, so beta shift is now on bridge. Okay, so let's go to sickbay, where Lieutenant Knorr is going to attempt to make some headway on the further on the virus.
Are we out of momentum?
I'm afraid we are.
We
yes.
are, yes.
Irkin is reading.
Good thing
a
I
page.
lowered the difficulty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so for the sickbay test, I believe this was it. Okay, so insight plus medicine, please.
Okay.
Insight or reason medicine, I should say. There's your two.
All right.
If the ship
Need an
could
assist.
assist with computers plus medicine.
Alrighty.
Are we still doing the NPC assist?
Yeah, sure. Let's use your advantage to do that. Just. Oh,
God almighty.
I think Liam should be prevented from rolling any further.
Yeah,
okay.
I
He's
forgot how
forgotten
to
how
do it.
everything.
Yeah, apparently. One of the NPCs assist.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we'll get Sin on the case.
I need a 1.
What are we doing? Insight medicine.
Yeah. Insight medicine. Now, I should remind you that you could. It's a little late now, but for next rolls, you could always spend your determination to get a third dice that rolls an immediate critical.
I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm no help.
Okay.
Sorry, Lieutenant Commander. There was a bee.
There's a bee in your
wait.
bonnet.
Oh yeah, Ira's in. Yeah, not Irkin. Okay.
Yeah.
Things just aren't working the way that you. This is proving a very vexatious disease to find a proper cure for. It's like they were designed It looks like it was designed with the specific intent that it should not be cured.
I assume most diseases are, or
Yeah.
most biological attacks are.
Yeah, probably.
Oh well, better luck next time, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think I will use a value or a determination next time, though.
Yeah. Let's roll 1d6 for the captain. See what he forgets.
He forgets how to be a captain.
Knorr would not mind if he forgot her.
Forgets what this whole thing ever happened.
Okay, so the captain, even though the captain's unconscious, the captain has forgotten ship tactics. So should he wake
who
up, he
needs
would
that?
not be good at fleet command or anything like that. Okay. Commander Bashir, it's about a half hour after you return to the bridge. You get a report from the Binars that the individual or the intelligence is ready to be transferred to the holodeck.
Just asking them to make sure that it's contained and
It is as good as we can do.
is everything so the beta shift is up here, everything
Yeah.
else.
Beta shift says, "Don't worry, Commander. We'll keep her flying steady."
All right, call me if there's any problems. I think I need to go see this. So
Okay.
I will head down to the gut.
Okay. So, does anybody else wish to see this? The commander and the Binars, assume, would be going. Does anyone else wish to go? Keep in mind that now that the bio quarantine is operational, someone could leave if they were inside a hazmat suit.
I mean, I assume I'm still fixing things in
You're
engineering,
probably
so
still fixing the things.
yeah.
I will wander out if Kenora lets me, in full suit.
Yeah. If Kenor lets you, that's the thing.
Yep.
I don't hear her saying no.
She's saying no with her mind.
If do we even know what he's doing?
Well, if I don't know if
Probably not. He kind of
Yeah,
me and the
that's what I was
Binars.
thinking.
fair enough. If the captain's not telling anyone, then that's a thing
fair,
too.
yeah.
So, okay, the captain's there, Binars are here, and so is this individual. So you've managed to port him through a. I wish I'd thought ahead and gotten you a picture, but it's one of those hollow matrix cubes that they kept Moriarty in back in the days of the Enterprise, or Enterprise D. If someone wants to Google that image, they're welcome to do so. Either way. Okay, so the two of you, or the three of you, enter the holodeck with a cube in hand. And out steps this individual. Or this character appears in an approximation of Vitar's military gear. He is very confused as to where he is. He instinctively sort of reaches down to where a weapon would be at his holster and realizes that there's nothing there. He glances at the pair of you, or the three of you, I should say. You are not Vitars. You are this Federation.
Correct. You may call me Commander Bashir. I have instructed my science officers to create a body created out of protonic energy that will sustain you to hear, see, and at least be more comfortable than in a storage unit until we proceed to Vex.
Commander, I appreciate this. I must ask, are we at war with your species? Or your... He looks at the few of you, noticing the various differences. Your alliance? Your fleet?
Federation. And no, we've only had minor contact with your race, and we are actually on a diplomatic mission to introduce ourselves, so to speak, and to possibly talk with your higher.
The Imperator. And even as he says that, he makes a salute. He bows at the waist. I while it is I do not know how much weight the words of a lowly grat is, but I sincerely regret attacking your vessel. I was acting under orders that, if accurate, are heavily out of date.
It was a misunderstanding, one that we're still recovering from, but understandable. This virus that you excrete, is there a cure? I have a lot of my senior staff is being affected.
He shakes his head. If there is a cure, then it is not within my knowledge. I was chosen because of my experience as a pilot.
Well, I thank you. This room can create, for the most part, any sort of positronic items that would make you comfortable. There are parameters, no weapons, things like that. But if you are, you can easily create your own bedding or anything like that, or food that will help you stay comfortable. But right now, we still have a crisis of this disease affecting most of my crew. If there's anything you think of, please feel free to contact me. And if there's anything else that we can help with you and your people, I would be honored to talk with you again.
I look forward to a conversation at a less trying time for your crew. I wish that I could be of further help. However, unless you have another rocket for me to fly, he sort of smirks, realizes no one's laughing, and then just, how do I go about creating an environment?
I will let the Bionars. This is 10 and 11. They'll give you a tutorial on what you can do.
Understood.
So I am going to head back to the bridge, and I will contact the doctor and say that there is no help from the probe as of right now. And I got a story to tell you guys.
Okay, so basically this is all the major plot points I'd hoped to do, other than the task of actually finding the cure, which is only going to be another roll or two away. So, unless people really want to see how that plays out, or if Kenor wants more practice with extended tasks, I'm more than willing just to narrate it complete.
The only thing I would want to do is have that conversation with Helsing when he wakes up, and I have to admit that I was partially responsible for his forgetting things.
Okay, so after administering the cure through a hypo spray, Alec immediately looks at the flying guide for dummies, flips through it quickly, and like, I know this stuff. And
I will dash off to the bridge. Thank you very much. Gotta go by.
Yeah.
I presume it was the same Jefferson guy that crashed into the missile in the first place. So I sort of blame him for all of this, in that seething kind of way.
This I gotta play out because this sounds hilarious. So we'll do the Irkin scene last because that sounds like fun. So let's go to sick bay where Kenor is waking up Helsing. And Helsing, you.
Commander Helsing, I have administered the cure to the crew. I am sure you will be pleased to know that you were the first person I administered it to. I needed a test subject.
Thank you. I'm sure everything was well within safety standards. So being a guinea pig, I don't mind. Here's the front line of defense for the ship. So still a little bit nerve wracking, but thank you.
You are welcome, Lieutenant Commander, and I do apologize for any additional memory loss I may have caused during this experimentation.
Caused additional memory loss?
I have to go
Wasn't
make the medical report now. I will see you later. And she just wanders
What did
out.
I forget? Wait, whoa, wait a minute. Wait. What did I forget?
I wouldn't know. All I know is I was creating the retrovirus, and I, of course, may have administered it to you before it was completely ready, and it just aggravated the results of the original.
Well, I know I forgot about the tactical systems in my phaser, but how would I know if I forgot something else?
Exactly. It is not of import. Good day, Commander. And then she
Well,
heads
what,
back into her
but how would I? But wait a minute. What? Huh? Hey, oh crap!
You'll find out a few months from now that you forgot your mom's birthday.
Did I like interpretive dance at one point? I hope not.
I mean, that can be easily. I could easily reintroduce you to that.
Okay. For funsies, I'm going to assume that the commander is back on the bridge.
Affirmative.
Yep. Commander, you have received word that the cure is finally created, and everyone is slowly returning to their duties when the turbolift opens and out pops Mr. Alak. Or Mr. Erkin, I should say.
Mr. Erkin.
Yes. Bajoran family names are first.
Is Jefferson actively piloting the ship right now, or is he just sort of doing idle motions?
He's sort of keeping the ship stationary. He hasn't received orders to move the ship anywhere else, but slight minute adjustments are needed to accommodate the ship against the black hole.
Okay, is there any, like, sort of small meeting room or something that's not the ready room on the bridge?
It's fairly close to the conference room.
Okay. Commander, may I borrow Jefferson for a brief moment in time?
Welcome back. Sure. Make it quick. I really don't want to keep here.
Oh, won't take a minute, sir.
Okay, so we're going into the conference room. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Is it Ensign?
I don't think he has a rank. Let's call him Ensign.
Okay.
Okay, you are here.
Would the rest of you please leave?
Yeah,
I need a moment.
they are leaving.
We're having a party in the conference room.
Look, wow, you guys are good. Jefferson, sit down, please.
Lieutenant, have I done something?
No, I just want to ensure that that my training has, as the senior flight officer, has really sunk in, and as you were the acting helm officer at the time of impact, I just wanted to make sure that that you're well suited to cover such emergency scenarios and rather avoiding getting the ship hit by a missile.
Lieutenant.
No, go on, please.
Lieutenant, I was on duty, of course, and the ship's proximity sensors didn't pick anything up. You saw it yourself on Alpha Shift how chaotic it was out there, even with the shuttles and the Spectre deployed to your specifications. There was a lot of stuff that we just sort of hoped that the deflector dish would deal with. The missile, I'm sorry, just sort of slipped through, sir.
It's perfectly reasonable. We all must learn. So I am assigning you for 2 rotations of advanced flight simulator flight training aboard in the holodeck.
Sir.
And I will administer it personally, and there will be an exam afterwards.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. And also, may I offer some personal guidance? If you seek the prophet's wisdom, they can get you a slight extrasensory perception of what's outside and around you. Only the finest at the helm, please, Jefferson.
Yes, sir. I shall take your advice to heart.
She's a beauty of a ship, and I'd hate to see her go down.
You and me
Dismissed,
both.
Ensign.
He stands at attention, sir.
Sir.
And he will wander. He'll head out and wonder what he just did wrong. But okay.
The only person to make missiles hit by the ship, or make missiles hit the ship, is me. Everything else is.
I have a job to do and a darn good at.
Yep.
Okay, so with the ship slowly putting the supermassive black hole behind it, moving slightly faster than they were previously, is there anyone wishing to do further scenes before we call it a day?
I would like to have an end cap before we go.
Okay. Where would you like said end cap to be?
I'd like to go back to 10
10
forward.
forward.
Now,
And I want the three of us
Yeah.
and our little friend, and I want us to fade out on us singing "Looking for Parmach" in all the wrong places.
okay. Just
Yeah.
due to YouTube copyright striking everything that comes close to music these days, I'm not. Please don't sing, but I'm just going to imagine that looking for Parmach in all the wrong places has gathered all the Tellarites of the crew out. Oddly enough, the humans don't seem to be interested. But one way or another, the crew will be talking about such a performance for the coming week.
And
Humans
as they start belting into the chorus, I walk in and go, "Oh crap!" Turn right around and said, "God, I hope I forget that."
And on that lovely
See,
note,
yeah.
end credits roll, ship goes off into the distance, and I would like to thank everyone for listening in. So I will be cutting the stream here. Players, feel free to stick around and talk a little bit, but thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you. Well, I will see you guys next Friday for the Cerberus station, and Nighthawk will play again Thursday, August the 15th. So, bye everyone!